So I'm going to be recording this webinar. Again, my name is Judy Miller. I host some of the webinars for our basic training, and I welcome anyone that's new to Infusionsoft. And just to let you know, this is a basic campaign builder, so we're going to start from the basics beginnings. You can also have access to our help center to get access to some upper level training, but for right now we're just going to start with the basics because, as you know, when you're a baby, it's better to crawl and walk than to start walking to begin, because then you have to go back and crawl. So we are going to crawl today, learn how to use a campaign builder very simply, so that you guys can start getting serious about Infusionsoft. I'm going to record this. I'll be sending it to you around lunchtime with all the goodies that I promise. So buckle your seatbelt and let's get started. So by the end of this webinar, you're going to be able to create a lead capture campaign, create a web form. You may know it as a contact us form. Infusionsoft calls it a web form, so it's just different vocabulary, but it's the same word. Create a sequence. We're going to learn how to create a sequence, understand the basics of a simple campaign, and I'm going to show you how to get campaigns for free. And anyone that's come to any of my webinars knows that I love to give you guys stuff for free because free is awesome. With your Infusionsoft application, you do have access to our help center. I'm going to go ahead and open that up right now so I can show you how to get more upper level training. So I'm just going to type help.infusionsoft.com on the very top of my screen. When you go to our help center, you can type in this little white box in the middle any question that you have, and all the articles will come up. If you want to go deeper into the campaign builder, there is a campaign and broadcast button right here, but also you can come up to the tab that says webinars, click it one time, and you'll see that the Infusionsoft basic training webinars are there to register for those, but there's also Infusionsoft masterminds, and you can click view all right there, and you can watch videos right on that screen. So if you're selling online and you want to watch a video to sell online, there's a video on that right there in that help center. So be sure to peruse that at some time if you have any topic that you want to learn more about with Infusionsoft, and that's in our help center. You also have access to our tech support numbers and access to more self-help learning in our 24/7 chat. So when in doubt at 2 o'clock in the morning, go to our help center and you can find all the answers that you need. Also, this is a free gift that I'm going to be sending you. This thing is amazing. So Jill Gangler, one of our coaches that became a partner coach now, created this 5-page document. It's technical writing. It has every single thing you could ever ask about the campaign builder written down on 5 pages with little arrows that show you where that is inside the campaign builder. You're going to use this a lot. You can print it out and keep it by your desk. This is the most updated one, and I'm going to be sending that to you with your recording. So it's awesome, awesome, awesome. So, Infusionsoft Campaign Builder. Judy, how can you make that simple? It's just so confusing to me. Well, there's just 2 ingredients to begin with to make a simple campaign. Just 2 ingredients. The first ingredient is a goal, and a goal is shaped like a circle, so it's represented by a circle in our Campaign Builder, and a goal is what you want the contact to do. I want them to fill out a web form. I want them to click on a link. I want them to fill out this registration form. We have lots of different goals inside Infusionsoft, and in that document, that PDF I'm going to send you, it goes over every single one of these in detail. Or you can go to the Help Center and find out about every single one in detail. Today we're going to focus on the web form, but you can see we have different goals. A web form is submitted. A landing page is submitted to register for a free webinar. A tag is applied to a contact record. An email link is clicked. There's different goals. Today we're going to work on the web form goal. The second ingredient is a sequence, and we represent that sequence with a rectangle with a clock in the middle, and it's supposed to be 2 emails with a clock separating it. When a goal is achieved, Infusionsoft magically will push that contact into that sequence, and that sequence is where the magic happens. There are tons of things that can happen in this sequence. You can send an email. You can put in a timer, maybe 2 days, send another email, put in another timer for maybe another 2 days, and then create a task to give that person a call or send them a postcard or something. There's lots of magic that can happen inside that sequence, and that's the magic of automation that happens right in that sequence. So if you can remember these 2 simple things, you can create a campaign. A goal is attached to a sequence. When a goal is complete, it automatically pushes them into a sequence. If you can remember this simple concept right here, you can create your first simple campaign. So let me get into Infusionsoft and show you how. When you open up Infusionsoft, and if I start talking too fast because I get so darn excited about this webinar, just tell me to slow down and I will. But you are going to get a recording, just for a warning. When you open up Infusionsoft, you'll land on the dashboard. You're going to hover over the Infusionsoft logo, come to the marketing section, and down to Campaign Builder and click it one time. When you do, you may have a blank library here. You may not have any campaigns yet. I'm going to show you how to make the recipe from scratch. However, we do have some like Betty Crocker pre-made campaign templates for you. And those are right here on this white button that says Get Campaign Templates to the right. I've put some in so I can show them to you real quick. When you go to Get Campaign Templates, you can search, hey, I want to find a birthday campaign. I want to find a post-purchase customer experience campaign. When you search for it, you can install it into your application, and I'm going to open one right now just to show you the recipe. This is like a Betty Crocker recipe. It's already created for you. It gets dropped into your application, and all it is a goal. So there's two goals that lead to a sequence that lead to another goal. That campaign is automatically put into your Infusionsoft inside of our Get Campaign Templates for free. We're going to create our own campaign so you can understand the ingredients first, and then, tonight when you're just playing around with Infusionsoft, go at it and start downloading the campaigns that you think, or installing the ones that you think will help you. You'll understand how to edit them more by going through this webinar with me. So I'm going to create my first webinar from scratch, my first campaign from scratch, and I'm going to go to this green button that says Create a Campaign on the right upper hand corner of the screen. I'm going to click it one time, and the first thing they want you to do is name the campaign. So I'm going to call this one Get My Newsletter. You can name it whatever you want, and Barney and Sue know this from me. Name it what makes sense to you. Name it what it is. Because when you're looking for certain campaigns, you're only going to remember them with the name that you gave them. So I'm going to call this Get My Newsletter because it makes sense to me. If you have lots of people creating campaigns inside your Infusionsoft application, have them put their initials at the beginning. It just makes it simpler. I'm going to hit save, and when I do, it's going to open up my blank canvas, and there's nothing there, and it's a little bit scary. But you're a marketing expert, and you get to plan out your marketing right here. You may put it on a piece of paper first and map it out. But this is where you're going to build it out in one place. So let's see. Judy said that a campaign begins with a goal. And the goal we're going to focus on today is a web form. So I'm going to come over to Goals. I'm going to look for web form, and I'm going to grab it and drag it on my template or my canvas just like that. The bottom name of the form turns blue, telling you name it what you want to name it. Name it what it is. This is called Newsletter Sign Up, so I'm going to name this Newsletter Sign Up. Name it what it is, what makes sense to you. Because someday you're going to be looking for that form, and you're going to go, what the heck did I name it? Oh, I named it Newsletter Sign Up. This is our goal. I'm highlighting in blue just to show you. A goal is attached to a sequence. I hope that you guys were thinking that. A goal is attached to a sequence. So I'm going to come up here and grab my sequence, drag it onto my canvas, and the bottom name turns blue. It's called Untitled Sequence, and Infusionsoft is just saying give it a different name. So if you're ever looking for it, you'll know where it is. So I'm going to call this Welcome and Deliver More Great Info. So I'm going to sign them up for the newsletter. I'm going to welcome them, and then I'm going to give them other great info so I can start selling to them. We have our goal, we have our sequence, and now we need to connect them together. To connect any two objects inside the Campaign Builder, hover over the object to the left, an arrow will appear, and I'm going to grab the arrow and move it into the sequence. And that is the foundation or the ingredients right there for a simple campaign. Now I want to start building it out, and if you'll notice, the color is gray and gray. The web form's gray, the sequence is gray, and gray means it's in default mode, it's not ready. So let me show you how to go in and build out your first form. You're going to put your cursor inside of the icon, and double-click it. Because we chose the web form goal, Infusionsoft knows to open up the web form builder. Let me change my internet. To my hard-coded one. There we go. Should be faster. When you first open up, sorry for being late, was building a campaign and totally lost track. That is awesome, Troy. Welcome, and you'll get the recording. So sometimes I go over and read the questions while I'm working. So that was someone saying he just joined us. When you first open up your web form, you're going to get to your default web form, and it looks just like this. And you're in design phase, and you get to design it. If you're using MailChimp or Constant Contact, you can come in and just copy the same form that you created already. I'm going to create this form, and the first thing I want to put on this form is a title. So I'm going to come to Snippets right there smack in the middle, grab a title, place it on top, and this is going to be called Be a Newsletter Subscriber. Put whatever you want there that's going to capture their attention. Sign up for my awesome newsletter. Get my newsletter now. Sign up and be one of the first. Put your title. Now, if you notice, the title is really, really, really butted up close to the first name field, and I want a little bit of space because it looks a little bit squishy. So I'm going to come to my snippet that's called Spacer. I'm going to drag it down where I want some space and hit Save, and now I have some space between the title and the first field, and it looks a lot less squishy. You'll also notice that first name and email address are already defaulted on this form. If you by any chance maybe need the person's last name, first name field is already there. So all you need to do is click on first name. This box will automatically pop up, and you can pick last name. You can require it or unrequire it by clicking on this little toggle box. When I hit save, we have first name and last name now. Just remember, and this is really important, the more things that you ask them to fill out, the more they become a form blocker. People don't want to give you their first and last name yet because they don't want you searching for them on Instagram and Facebook. So be careful and make sure that what you're asking for matches what you're going to give them. If you're sending out a free DVD, then you need their address. If you're giving out a free consultative phone call, then you need their phone number. I'm just having them sign up for my newsletter. So I really don't need a lot of information, and I really don't need first and last name or either of them. But for the sake of this webinar, I'm going to ask for their first and last name. If you come to the Field Snippet tab, you can see there's other things we can ask for. We can put in a checkbox, I'd like you to call me, and put in your phone number. You can put in a radio button and ask them to segment themselves. I want to weight train, I want to lose weight, or I just want to go to a gym for social fun. You can add other and maybe add their anniversary or their birth date. You can even add their address. We're making a very, very simple one, so this is all I'm going to add. But I can add an image if I want to by coming to Snippets. If this is going to go on Facebook and they don't know me from Adam, I can actually put my logo right here by clicking on the image and adding my logo. Just like that. So if you're not going to use this on your website, and you're going to be sending the link in an email or using it in a Facebook ad, you're going to want to brand this form so people know who you are. You can even go so far as to add some information just by grabbing a paragraph. Hey, be one of my first newsletter subscribers. You'll get this, this, and this as an extra bonus. Can't wait to start working with you. Just hit the trash can to get rid of it. And here's my form. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the submit button. First of all, it's gray. Second of all, it's tiny. And third of all, it says submit. And submit's very generic. So I want to change it. And I'm going to pause for a second. And I'm back. I want to change the submit button. To change the submit button, simply hover over it and double click. When you double click, the button builder opens up. So you should see a pattern. When you double click something, it redirects you somewhere else to be able to change it. I'm going to change this to get it now, or subscribe now, I guess. Subscribe now, exclamation point. I can change the alignment if I want to. I can change the styling just by toggling on the style button, and I can change the color of that button to a prettier color that pops out. I can make the border a little thicker. I can round the corners to be more round or less round, and I can change the size to a little bit bigger because it was kind of small. Now I'm going to hit save, and you can always go back and change it, but ta-da, there's the button. That looks great. I may even make it red to pop with the red hearts. And that's my form. You can always go back and change the form, but once you're done with your form, you're going to come up to the right-hand corner, and there's a little draft button that looks like a zipper, and you're just going to toggle it to ready. And a lot of people get scared and think, oh my gosh, it's going to magically go out to people. Ready just means that it's out of default mode, that you changed it from the submit and what it looked like before. You can always go in and change it, and ready does not mean it's ready to go and it's magically going to go out to 1 million people, so don't be scared. Now I'm going to go over to the next tab. It's right under the black bar to the left, and I'm going to hit the next tab, which is the thank you page. And the thank you page is going to give you a page that lets people know that that web form submission was a success. You would not believe how many times I fill out a form and I have no idea if that form was successful or not, so I fill it out again and again and again. This is a page that says, hey, you filled out the form successfully and here's what you're going to get. It looks like this, so of course you're going to want to change the banner. So I'm going to double click, and to be consistent, I'm going to put the same exact banner that was on that web form. People think, wow, well, I know that's consistent. That's the same thing I signed up for. Where's Infusionsoft Hearts? How come I can't see it and you guys probably can? Infusionsoft Hearts. There it is. So that's the beginning of my thank you page, and I promise that I will just get your questions answered, I promise, but I'm trying to stay focused. So here's my image. It's automatically defaults to thanks for filling out this form. I can put here, you got it. Their first name is automatically going to be put in there, so if I put Judy or Howie or Tommy, it's going to insert that when I fill this out, and we'll see that later. I'm going to put, you should get your first newsletter on the 15th of the month. Ta-da! We will contact you shortly. This is a great place for you to put. I'm not going to type it out, not to wait, so I don't waste your time. But in this little real estate, this little piece of heaven that you have right here that people get after they successfully fill out that form, you may want to put, if you do not get an email within 10 seconds, please check your spam folder or your promotions tab. If you go to our help center and type in email compliance, you can find out some different ways not to get emails in spam or the promotions tab. But for right now, you might want to tell your people, hey, this may go in your promotions tab. This may go in spam. So if you don't get my email real quick, please check it because we want to make sure you get this important information. And then click here to continue browsing. You always want to redirect them somewhere else. So you can put here, check out my Facebook page. Hey, go back to my website and just click this link right here on the top of the heart and then put in the web address, www.infusionsoft.com. You may send them to your blog post. Wherever you want to send them, you can redirect them right here. And I'm going to hit Insert and Update. My thank you page is done, so I'm going to go to the next tab, which is my Settings tab. The Settings tab gives you the opportunity to be notified every single time somebody fills out this form. So if you're just beginning and you want to know via email, hey, I got somebody to opt in for my newsletter, you can be notified by setting up this Settings page. Down the bottom, it says notification email, and just put your email address here. When you put your email address here, you will get an email every time someone fills out this form, and the email will say notification. A web form was filled out, and I'm going to put for my newsletter. Yippee! And that's going to go to me. If I want it to go to other people that are users inside Infusionsoft or not users, people that work for me that aren't using Infusionsoft, just put a comma up by the email address and put in their email address too. And there's no limit to how many people you can put in right there. This opt out of automatic bot detecting, if somebody fills out the form more than 10 times, Infusionsoft will remember that, and the 10th time they'll get a little CAPTCHA code that they have to put in there asking if they're a robot or not. So if you don't want that, you can opt out of that and then Infusionsoft won't do it. It automatically is unchecked, but you can opt out of it so you don't send those bots out. That's just to protect you from getting in a spam trap, and it's to protect Infusionsoft from getting in a spam bot. The last tab is your code tab. And just to let you know, you don't grab your code till your campaign is published. So right now, if we were to grab the code and put it on our website, it wouldn't work. It would bring us right back to that default form that we started out with at the very beginning. You have to wait until your campaign is published so Infusionsoft knows it's ready to be used. It kind of sets it in stone. You can always go back and reset it. You can always go back and edit it. But this is the code right here. Let me look at this question. Okay, someone just asked for the recording. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going too fast. If you are going to have a web developer or someone helping you that's going to put the form on your website, just come down to have your webmaster do it, put their email address right here, type your message right here, and then hit send email. And that will go right to your webmaster. They don't have to be a user inside of Infusionsoft to get the code and get that web form up and running on your website. Just make sure that when you send it to them, you have your campaign published first. If you're going to do it yourself like I did, you're just going to hit the do it yourself button and you're going to have some code. And all you're going to do, and I know it sounds really scary, but it's not that scary, you're going to highlight all the code, go to your website, go into your admin page, choose the page that you want this form to appear on, and then drop the code in either a JavaScript box or an HTML box. And once you do and republish it on your website, that form will appear on your website exactly how you made it. It's really easy if you try it, because if I could do it, anybody could do it, because I am not a technical genius person. There's a JavaScript snippet and there's an HTML code snippet. The biggest difference between these two is if you use the JavaScript, which is just a little line of code, if you make a change on your web form and you republish it in Infusionsoft, so you decide, hey, I don't want that picture, I'm taking it out. Republish, it will automatically mirror the changes on your website without you having to go back and put the code back in. HTML code, if you use the HTML snippet and you make a change on your form and take that image out, you do have to take the code and recopy the whole thing and put it back on your website. Well, Judy, why the heck would I use the HTML code then and just not, why would I use that? Why wouldn't I just use the JavaScript snippet every single time? Here's why. Sometimes a JavaScript snippet cuts off the submit button with certain themes. Sometimes it doesn't work like it does, our JavaScript snippet doesn't work with Wix. Sometimes it doesn't work well with Weebly and it makes it look funny. So always test it out and see if the platform works well and plays nicely with our JavaScript snippet. If it does, awesome. If it doesn't, then you're probably going to have to use the HTML code. If you don't have a website yet, so I know some of you are probably thinking, oh my goodness, I just bought Infusionsoft and I only have a list of 10 people and I don't even have a website yet. What am I going to do? Awesome. You can use our hosted version. And this is what I use because I don't have a website. I just use that URL and I send it out to people in an email. Hey, it looks like you were interested in my product. Here's a link to sign up for my newsletter. And they click on that link and Infusionsoft hosts the form. And I'll show you an example of that at the end of the webinar. The only difference between this URL and the pretty URL is you can change the back of this. Sign up, newsletter, sign up now. And you can just change the ending of it. So if somebody looks up in the browser window, they see this instead of seeing, 6D403. You can make these into bit.ly links. You can put these on postcards. You can put these on letters, direct mailers, and have people go to this website or this URL and fill it out, and it will go right into Infusionsoft. Isn't that cool? Awesome. So now we're going to get out of our web form, and now if you'll notice, our web form is light green with gray stripes, which means it's ready. It's in a different color visual than our sequence because we changed it. We did something different to it and we set it ready. We created our web form. Now we're going to go ahead and create our sequence. To create the sequence, When you want to create the form, you double-click the form. To create the sequence, we put our cursor in the middle and double-click. Because it's our sequence, Infusionsoft knows to redirect us to the sequence builder. The sequence builder always has a start at it. That start button is asking you, hey, what do you want to happen next? Hey, Barney, somebody filled out your form. What do you want to happen next? Hey, Lisbeth, somebody filled out your form. What do you want to automatically happen next? And this is the magic of Infusionsoft right here. Well, came to the other webinars, learned from my coach that we like to tag people to know what list they belong to because that helps us segment our lists. I want to tag these people automatically that they're on my newsletter list. So what I'm going to do is grab a tag. It's under process. Grab the tag, drop it next to the start, and try to make this so it's not too big and not too small. There we go. The tag is gray in color, so that means that we need to set it up. I double-click the tag, and when I double-click the tag builder opens up, and I get to name this, and I'm going to call this Awesome Newsletter Subscriber. I'm just making a new tag, even though I have newsletter tags in there because I want to show you that it really works. Awesome NL Subscriber. I'm going to hit Create. I'm going to hit Save, and now the tag turns green, meaning it's set up correctly. So anyone that fills out that form is going to get that tag automatically put onto their contact record. Now what do I want to happen? Well, when we made this form, we told people they're going to get an email really quickly. They're going to get an email immediately. So I want to send them an email immediately, a welcome email. So I'm going to come over to Communications, grab Email, drop it onto my canvas, and the bottom turns blue, and that says change the name. This is going to be called Welcome, so I'm going to change the name to Welcome. That simple. Name it what it is. It will always be easier to go in and look for it if you name it what it is. It's gray in color. Gray in color means I need to set it up, so I'm going to put my cursor in the middle and double-click. When I do, the email builder opens up. So I hope you guys see a pattern here. Now I can use one of these templates in the gallery, and I can start from scratch and create my welcome email just like this. But I created a template, so I'm going to come into the My Templates, and I'm going to search for the template that I want to use, and I want to use my one that says Welcome. And I'm going to wait for it to open. So I'll take a drink of water real quick. Believe me, this goes a lot faster when you're not in this little webinar room right here. I'm going to scroll down and look for my welcome email. Oh, there it is. And it has the same banner, so I have consistency. So my customer journey, my prospect journey, they're going to get the same exact consistency there, so they're going to start feeling really confident. I'm going to hit Use Template. It's going to drop that email in, and I'm going to come over to Draft, set it as Ready, go all the way to the left in the black toolbar, and go back to my sequence. And now you can see that my email is light green and ready. Now what do I want to do? Well, I know it takes about 3 to 5 touches before someone will even think about purchasing a product. So I think I'm going to put in a timer. Our timers are on top of the toolbar. Put in my timer. Double-click the timer to set it up because it's gray. I'm going to wait 2 days. So I'm going to toggle down to 2. Hit Save. And now my timer turned green. And now I'm going to send another email. So what do I want to say in 2 days? I can either grab another email from my communications, or because this one is the branded email that I want to use, I can just right-click the email I have in there, make a duplicate, move it over to the right, and if you want to connect things, go to the icon to the left, grab the arrow, connect them together. I better change the name so it's not called Welcome also. So this one is going to be called More Fun Stuff. To set it ready, I double-click. Of course, you're going to want to go in and change the content. Here is some great free stuff for you. Change the content, set it ready, go back to your sequence. Now they're engaged. I sent them one email. I waited 2 days. I want to send them another email. So I'm going to grab my delay timer, double-click it. This time I'll wait 3 days. That sounds great. hit save. Instead of grabbing an email over here and having to rebrand it, I'm just going to take my more fun stuff, make a duplicate, and I can move this over to the right if I want to. And if you hold down your shift key and right click, you can move that string all the way over to the left so you can just keep on building to the right. I'm going to rename this one Even More Fun Stuff and Offer 1. And this time I'm going to give them an offer. They've gotten their first email. They got some free stuff. They're getting more free stuff. And now I'm going to just sneak in that offer and just let them know like a little soft sell about this offer. I'm going to double click. I have my click here now, which may turn out to be my Buy Now button. Set it ready, change my content, go back to my sequence. So I have one email, waiting 2 days, have another email, waiting 3 days, have another email with my first offer. I'm going to put in another timer. This time I'm going to drop it, going left to right. Double click, and this time I'm going to wait 5 days. So 5 more days, and I'm going to send another offer. Duplicate my email. I'm going to call this one Offer 2, and then I'm going to connect them together. Double click my offer. Of course, you're going to want to change the content because you don't want it to be the same email every single time, so you're going to make it great and fun and exciting and enticing. Set it to ready. Go back to sequence. I'm going to come back and I'm going to put one more timer in. This time I'm going to wait a week. Save and put in my last email. Attach them, and this is going to be offer 3. Double click. Put in a great offer, change the content, go back to my sequence. I'm going to add another timer and not set it ready, and I'm going to add another email and not set it ready so I can show you what happens if you have stuff in there that's not ready. So I have my thread ready for as far as I want to go right now. I have my welcome email. 2 days later, more fun stuff. 3 days later, even more fun stuff. 5 days later, offer 2. 1 week, offer 3. So I have lots of time before I even have to think about these 2 parts. You do have to come up on the sequence level and let Infusionsoft know that your sequence is ready. It's okay if these 2 pieces aren't ready yet. We got time. We can republish the campaign later. So we're going to go back out to the campaign, and now both parts of that campaign are green with gray stripes, meaning they're ready. Now if they click on the link to purchase, if you're using Infusionsoft's e-commerce, you can have a goal come out of a purchase goal. If you're going to be selling from the back of a room, you can have a tag applied goal, and as soon as you put that tag on that they're a new customer, they will automatically get that tag, and I'll show you what happens if they purchase on offer 1, offer 2, or offer 3, but that's coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and put my product here, connect them, double click my shopping cart, any purchase, because I only have one product, so it doesn't matter if it's specific or in a certain category because it's only one thing. And now I have goal, sequence, goal. Super, super simple so far. We're ready to publish and test it out. So I'm going to come over to the right, and I'm going to hit this publish button. When you hit the publish button, Infusionsoft will go through a checklist and check out that campaign. And the most important part of this checklist is campaign passes functional inspection. That means that everything that you have set up right now is going to work. Yes. 2 elements are marked as not ready. Oh yeah, I remember my delay timer and my untitled email. That's right. No big deal. Emails aren't personalized, so I didn't go in and put their first name in the email. That's okay. Now I'm going to hit the publish button. When you hit the publish button for the second time, you're going to see a different view here, and this is our reporting view. If you go into our Help Center and type in Campaign Reporting View, you can go over all the different ways that you can pull reports from your campaign and see how it's working. In order to test out the campaign, I'm going to come up to the black toolbar right in the middle. It looks kind of like a little 2-sided capsule. I'm going to go back into edit, and our campaign has changed color, and now it's emerald green. And emerald green means it's ready. It's ready to use. Nothing's going to magically go out anywhere because you haven't put your web form code anywhere yet, but it's ready to use. So I'm going to show you how to test it out. I'm going to double click the form, and when I double click the form, after it's published, I can either come up to test up here and grab my name, or I'm going to go into the hosted version and show you what that looks like. Use hosted version, click on it, and that's how it's going to open up if you use it on a Facebook ad. They click on the link, Infusionsoft hosts it for you, so you don't even need that website yet. That's pretty cool. I'm going to fill this out, and I'm going to put GJUDI, because I want you to see that I'm not tricking you. I'm going to put a whole bunch of R's, and then my email address. Subscribe now, and because I have my first name in that thank you page, there's G. Judy. You got it, G. Judy. You should be getting your first newsletter on the 15th of the month. So I know that that part worked, and the thank you page looks awesome. We're going to get out of the campaign. I'm going to go to contacts, and I'm going to search for J. Judy. I'm going to open up Judy's contact record, and if you remember, we made an awesome NL subscriber. That's the tag that we made. Because Judy signed up on this web form, she should have that tag. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down, and the tag's not there. That ain't good. That's the first time that ever happened to me ever. So I'm going to open up the campaign. Awesome NL subscriber. That should have worked, so I'm sorry. Open up another tab. So I know I'm in there. G. Judy. And there it is. I don't know why it took a couple seconds, but there it is. Awesome NL subscriber. So it gave me the tag. The person that signed up is never going to know about that tag. It's a secret inside Infusionsoft, so you can find that person. And if I come down to campaigns, the tab called campaigns, you can see I did a newsletter sign up at 10:36. The email went out at 10:37, and it took a minute to apply a tag, but the tag was applied at 10:37, and the email was already sent out. The upcoming events on the 29th, more fun stuff. On June 1st, even more fun stuff. And on June 6th, offer number 2, June 13th, offer number 3. So awesome. We know that this campaign is working and running the way it's supposed to. Now, I'm sure you have a question, and you are thinking in your head right now, oh my gosh, Judy, have you not even noticed this? These people are getting an offer on email number 2 or email number 3. What if they buy that product when they get email number 3? I don't want them to get email number 4 and email number 5 because they already bought it. And what happens if you're giving them a better offer here? They already bought it up here. Let me show you how Infusionsoft takes care of that. If you notice in this sequence, there's a little blue flag right there in the left-hand corner, and a sequence always defaults to the blue flag. And if I click on that blue flag, a box will appear, and it says, hey, Infusionsoft, if somebody reaches the next goal and they actually purchase that product, please stop this sequence immediately and move them further on down the funnel. It says a lot. That's what it's saying. Hey, Infusionsoft, don't send them offer 3, 4, 5, and 6. They already bought. Move them further on down the funnel. I'm sure you've heard that before. Move them, move them, move them. Everything to the left, stop, and push them further on down the funnel to the right. So that should be pretty, make your heart go back to pumping again. The only reason you'd use runs until completed, let me give you a scenario. I have a dog grooming company, and I have a 5-part series going, a stress-free dog grooming visit, how to stress-free your dog when they're coming to the groomer. And I promised everyone that 5-part series, so they're going to get a video every day for 5 days. Even if they click on the link to purchase my grooming or give me a call and sign up to get their dog groomed, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they move on further down the funnel. They asked for this 5-part series, and I'm going to give them that 5-part series because I promised it to them. For the most part, you're going to be using Stop Immediately. As soon as they purchase, please move them down further on down the line. Don't send them any more offers. Now, before we go into a few more slides I want to show on questions, I want to show you a few more things. They purchase the product. Now what happens? Oh, goal attaches to a sequence. And this is the deliver product and expectations. Or upsell. There may be an upsell. If there's an upsell, I may have 2 separate upsells, so I'm just thinking it through while I'm doing it. I have 2 separate upsells. If they get the first one, they're going to get this sequence. Let me move this, so I'm going to highlight it all and move it over to the left. And if they purchase the other product, they're going to get this sequence. And you can see that you can start building this out based on your marketing thinking in your head. They signed up. They got some emails. Wow, they finally bought. They got a deliver product and they got a welcome. They got an upsell and they purchased one of the 2 upsells. Pretty cool, right? Right. Now you're thinking, well, Judy, I went to an event last week. I put 15 people into my CRM. I didn't have my campaign ready yet, but I have it ready now, and I really want to put my people into this campaign. Do I have to have them go to my website, or do I have to fill out that form for every single person? You don't. Let me show you what you do. I'm going to come to my Infusionsoft logo or cornerstone, come to the CRM section and click on Contacts. I'm going to choose the people that purchased my product by putting an X by their name. And if it's everyone, you can just hit the ID button up here and it will choose everyone. I choose the people that I want to add, come up to my Actions button, and all the way down to the almost bottom, there's Start, Stop, a Campaign Sequence. It's sandwiched in between the other 2 Start, Stop, so it's the baloney right in the middle. Click on it one time, and it's going to say to you, hey, you put 4 people in this search. What do you want to do with them? Well, I want to start them in my Get My Newsletter campaign, and I want them to go into the sequence called Welcome and Deliver, or whatever sequence I want to put them in. Pretty cool. As soon as you hit Process Action, it will drop those people into the campaign based on what sequence you chose. So if it's a new customer sequence and you have 15 sequences already published, all 15 sequences, and I'm pointing to them like you guys can see, all 15 sequences will show up here and you get to pick which sequence you want to drop them in. Hit Process Action, Infusionsoft will grab those people and drop them right into the campaign. So I want to show you a couple of more slides and then we'll get into questions. This one's going to freak you out a little bit. You're like, oh my gosh, mind blown. This is a very complex campaign. But if we put it under a microscope, you'll see that it's just a goal that pushes people to a sequence, that pushes them to a new goal, so everything on the left stops. They go into a new sequence. They reach another goal. Everything to the left stops. They go into a new sequence and hit a new goal. Now the next campaign may start with this specific tag, and you can have these on different canvases. They don't all have to be on this big, gigantic canvas. And that's what I would recommend, because if something has a problem, you have to go into every single piece of this instead of just going into a specific campaign. Remember this, your simple one campaign is more important than your complex none campaign. And everyone tries to build out what's on the right before they test out what's on the left, and they never get that confidence level of, I can do this. You got to feel the I can do this before you'll publish a campaign and launch it out. All the one on the right is a goal that pushes people into a sequence. pushes them to a new goal if they reach it, and then they move forward, move further on down the funnel. But you got to feel confident with Mr. Left campaign before you'll feel right with Mr. Right campaign. And I promise you, as soon as you take that baby step, you'll be able to create campaigns, anything that you can think of. Because Infusionsoft does a lot of crazy stuff, but you got to feel confident doing the basic stuff first. And it's not hard because you get to build out that campaign in your head on that canvas. You get to build it out. That's the cool part. So my challenge to you before I get to questions is build out a simple campaign, create and automate with the builder, publish it and test it out and put yourself in it, see the magic happen, and then start all over again. So I'm going to show you real quick what a form looks like on a website. And of course I go to the wrong one. Chris beat cancer. Let me grab this real quick. So that's his web form that he created inside Infusionsoft. It has a title that says, "Hey friend." It has some content. It has first name and email. He changed the button from submit to subscribe, made it a little bit rounder, made it blue, and he has a radio button in there so people can say if they're a cancer patient, helping someone, or into prevention. And that's all done inside Infusionsoft. Now you're probably wondering, I want to see a form that Infusionsoft is hosting. That one's being hosted by Chris's website. I'm going to show you my basic training channel. And in my basic training channel, there's a little teeny button to the right-hand side that says marketing ideas. And I don't have a website, but if people want to get my ideas, they can click right here, and it opens up a form hosted by Infusionsoft. I changed the background to teal. I put in my logo, put in some content, put in a title, first name, email, sign me up, and I put a little border around my form that looks like a coupon. And it's hosted by Infusionsoft. It's not on a website. I can put that on Facebook too just by taking that URL and popping it on my Facebook page. So those are two examples of real life. If you need help with Facebook ads, I'm not a Facebook ad aficionado. I'm not great at Facebook ads. I don't know enough about it. But we do have a service here at Infusionsoft, and I know some people aren't ready for it because it costs about $199 a month. But we run the ads for you. We run them once a month, and we capture leads for you. We generate them. We capture them. And I do have a bit.ly link. So it's bit.ly Facebook Help Now, where you can get a free consultation if you want and find out about that. You may not be ready for it yet, but you may. We have some people that have captured 25 new leads in one day and made one $30,000 sale. You never know, but I just want to give you that resource just in case you'd like it. And the guy that goes over the Facebook ads, his name is Daniel, and he is the most awesome guy I've ever met in my life. I love him to death, and I'm not kidding. I sit next to him. I think he's awesome. So even if you just want to hear more about what it is, I made a bit.ly link for you just in case you wanted that. So it's bit.ly/Facebook Help Now. And I'll put that in the email too. Now let's go to questions. Can I watch it later? You absolutely can. How do we change the name of the email if you have moved past the point when it is blued without deleting? Let me show you. So you want to know how you change the email inside the campaign builder after you've moved forward and you're done changing the name one time. Double click. I want to change the name of this, so I just double click where it says welcome, and then I can change it right here. Double click. It turns blue and you can change it. How do you change the timeline arrows if you move actions orders? That is a great question, Troy. This is important to know. Just say that I want to move this email down here. Delete the arrow, highlight, delete the arrow, move the email you want to move, and then reconnect the arrows like that. Delete arrow, then reconnect arrow. That's the best way to do it because some people do this. And guess what? They're not going to get tagged because the line is on top of the tag. And sometimes it's underneath the tag and you can't see it. You want to make sure, delete, go to the icon before, connect, icon before, connect. So you can always change where you want it to go, delete, move it, and then reconnect, and then you know that that's going to work. Awesome question. Thanks for asking that, Troy. Can you show an example of Facebook or other social media? So I can show you how to put a form on Facebook. But it's not a Facebook ad. If you'd like consultation on a Facebook ad, that bit.ly link would be great. But if I want to add this form to Facebook, of course I'd put in some content. I don't know why I did that. So I put my content here and let them know what they're getting. Republish it. Because I made a change, so I do have to republish it. Edit mode. Go into my web form that I created. I don't know why it's so slow right now. Grab the code, and I'm going to use a hosted version. So I'm going to grab this and copy it. So far, so good. Now I'm going to open up Facebook. You can either post it on your personal page if you want to. I'm going to post this on my business page. This is my business page right here. I'm going to come up where it says write something, and I'm going to paste my URL right there. Once you paste your URL, you can come in and you can change it by highlighting it. I can put get my ideas now. I can come down here and I can change this to be one of the first. I can come in and change the picture. Hold on, I have to cough for a second, so let me pause. Sorry about that. I'm going to change the image to, I think I'll put the hat since I was born on Halloween. Put the hat, hit publish, and there it is. If someone clicks on it, it will automatically open up, dun, 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 the form. There's another secret. If you click here on this little arrow going down, you can pin it to the top of the page. So anytime for 2 weeks, anyone that goes to your page, that will be the first pin. Right there. So when someone goes to my business page, they'll see that pin first. So I have other ones right here. Want some great ideas? Click on it, and it will open up that form just like that. I'm not using Infusionsoft. I'm not using a website. I'm using Infusionsoft. So Kirk said, if you want to send an email on a specific date, do we use the date timer? That's a great question, and yes, you do. Let me find my... Open up the campaign again. So I'm going to come over here because there's nothing in this one yet. This time I'm going to use a date timer, and I want this one to go out on April 10th, or June 10th. Put in my email, and this email will go out on June 10th because that's the date timer that I set it on. Great question, thank you. So Troy said, so you're selecting the arrow and then hitting the delete button. Yes, I'm deleting the arrow and then reapplying the arrow because that is the best way to make sure I highlight it hit delete, and then I can reattach the arrow. That is the most confident way I can think of to make sure that they're connected. It's the safety code. It's like locking your garage when you go out of town. That's your safety code. I'm trying to read questions. So you're selecting the arrow, yes. Why did you choose the hosted version and not the social version? Troy, you're a Halloween baby too, and I have a twin brother that's a Halloween baby too, and there's another girl at work, so that's Halloween, so I'm going to have to send you a card on your birthday. So I used the hosted version because the hosted version will collect that lead. You can also use a social media, a Facebook form that you can use from Facebook, but if you use a form used by Facebook, it's not going to go into Infusionsoft. If I use the form that's inside Infusionsoft, like I did here, it is going to go right into my Infusionsoft app and automate that process. If you have them sign up in Facebook, Facebook is going to send you a CSV file with everyone's name and everyone's email address, and you're going to have to scoop them up and import them into Infusionsoft. If you use our form, it will automatically integrate with Infusionsoft and drop that stuff right into Infusionsoft. So I'm just trying to make sure I get all your questions. Someone asked about a field timer, so let me go over that real quick. Grab another starter. Let me get rid of this one. So a field timer is a little bit different, and a field timer takes a field that's filled in on the customer's contact or the prospect's contact record. So say my birthday is on Halloween. I can send an email that's called the birthday email that goes on everyone's birthday. So if Troy is in there and Judy Miller's in there and Melissa's in there and all of our birthdays are on Halloween, we'll all get this email on Halloween. Why? Because we have a field filled out in our contact record for Halloween. How does Infusionsoft know? You grab the field timer. I'm going to double click the field timer and I'm going to put this 2 days before their birthday, and you have to have that field, and that field needs to be filled out. So inside of my Infusionsoft I have birthday, anniversary, next follow-up, and date of appointment. So somebody may have just made an appointment to bring their dog in. I can have date of appointment and put this in 3 days before the date of appointment, and this is appointment reminder. And then I can do another field timer, and this is 2 days before. So it automatically shows up appointment 2 days before, and I can send them another email that reminds them, and I can also send one day before. The field timer grabs the date from the contact record. That field must be filled in order to move that over. Great question. Your people signed up for a newsletter. Would that be the letter in communications? No, that would not be the letter in communications, Gail. So everyone signs up for a newsletter. They signed up filling out a form and they're going to get my newsletter. I only send my newsletter off once a month. So what I'm going to do, and if you came to the email broadcast yesterday, I showed how to send a broadcast to a certain group of people. I'm going to go into my contacts. I'm going to do a new search, and I'm only going to find people that are on my newsletter list. So I'm going to look for people with a tag, awesome newsletter subscriber. I'm going to search for those people, and then once a month, because they're on my newsletter list, I'm going to come to actions and I'm going to send out a broadcast to them. So I'm going to choose the people because they signed up for my newsletter. I'm not going to send a letter. I'm actually sending a digital newsletter. I'm going to come choose the newsletter that I want to send out to that group of people. I don't know why this is so slow in this room, or maybe I need to get rid of some of my templates. Pick my newsletter. This one's about the voice. Schedule or send. Put in a subject line. And send out my newsletter to that group of people, just like that. So they get the tag. Once a month you grab them. In the campaign builder, that letter in communications will set you a task saying that you have a letter that needs to be printed off. So this letter right here, double click it, and you can create the letter right here, and once it triggers off to that letter, you will get a task on your dashboard saying that you need to send out a letter, and you can just print it right from that screen. So Kirk said, what if there is no goal, just a series of emails to remind people of a training session with you with no interaction required? Do you have to have a goal? You don't have to have a goal in that situation, Kurt. I'm just going to move this because if I delete it, it'll be gone forever. I can just have a sequence here. In order to drop people into this sequence, I'm going to have to go to my contacts and drop them into this sequence. So it can start without a goal. It's called Welcome and Deliver. So I want to come to my contacts, find the people that I want to add to it, and remind them of a training. Choose the people that I want to remind. Come to Actions. Stop or start a campaign. I want to start them and to get my newsletter, and I want them to go into the Welcome and Deliver, hit Process Action, or online training reminders. It's called online training reminders. Drop them in there and they'll go right into that sequence of emails. So you can do that. So Tim, you have initial setup of a campaign. You left 2 steps incomplete and said you can go back and do them later. Why do that when they have to be completed? Well, Tim, some people may have 52 emails in a series and they have 21 of them done and they don't have time to do the next 20, but they want to test it out. So they may go in, set up those 22 emails, put a 5-minute timer in between each of them so they can test it out, and then when they have time, go back and write those other emails. Some people's long-term nurture lasts for a year. When I worked for selling dental software, my long-term nurture for dentists lasted a whole year. And I didn't have every email done for it, so I just got published what I had done because people didn't buy sensors until December. So I wanted to make sure I educated them and kept in front of them the whole year, but maybe 2 weeks ahead of time I'd go and write that email. So I just wasn't ready. So Troy, I'm going to have to take your question about the Twitter bird and the social media offline because I'm not understanding it, so maybe I can give you a call or email you separate. I'm wondering if you're talking about I think you may be talking about this under code. I just hate when this takes long because it makes me nervous when it's quiet. I think you're talking about share this with your network with the little Tweety bird right there. And the reason I don't use to share this with your network is if you click on the Facebook, it will only send it out to your Facebook personal page. So if you have a personal brand, just say that you're a coach that teaches people how to quit smoking and the name of your business is your name, and people go to your personal page, you can share that form with your personal page. If you want to share it with Twitter, you can put any Twitter handle in there, but this one, I'm not sure why, but it only connects with your personal page. So if you're a realtor and you use your name as your realty business, you can click here and that will send your form right out. But it only goes to your personal page, and that's why I don't show it because it's kind of like not a great conversation. Exactly. Yes, that was the answer. If you add an email to a sequence after people have been added, do they get restarted? They do not get restarted. If you add people to a sequence, so if people are already in the sequence and I decide to wait 2 weeks, and then I put this next email in, everyone will just be dropped into that email. People that are in offer 3 that have been waiting inside this timer, they'll be pushed into this. They won't restart again. So that was about an hour and 5 minutes, and I know that is a lot of information for you. I'm going to be sending the recording. I made a little workbook for you, so I'm glad somebody asked about the different kind of timers because I have a little true and false section in there where it says, hey, if your dog has an appointment, which timer would you use? Hey, if you're just sending a newsletter once a month, what timer would you use? So I made some little, workbook pages for you so you can go over those while you're going over the recording. If you have any other questions, please contact me at basictraining@infusionsoft.com and I will answer your questions. I thank you guys so much for joining me. I know this was a lot of information. I hope it made it easier for you and more consumable for you that you can get in there and create your first campaign. I've seen people make lots of money in a 3-email campaign. I've seen someone make $10,000 in 10 minutes recurring revenue in a 3-email campaign. So it can be done. Just, write your emails like you're talking to someone and sell your product in a really, really compelling way. Talk about yourself. Create that relationship like I talked about yesterday and get those products sold. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being an Infusionsoft customer. We love you guys. Hope to meet you someday in person, and I'll see you next week. On Tuesday, we have the Manage Contacts. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Be safe. Hope to see you guys again sometime. Bye-bye.